Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Curse of Oak Island recap. Have the team finally discovered the entrance to the money pit? On The Curse of Oak Island this week, have the team finally discovered the entrance to the legendary money pit? It certainly looks like a serious possibility. The episode saw the treasure hunting team led by Rick and Marty Lagina continue their quest to uncover a man-made connection between the pit and Smith's Cove. 1 week ago, wooden beams dating back to 1735 to 1784 were found in the cove at a depth of more than 50 feet. The team took this as possible evidence that they may have hit a main flood tunnel. Based on the evidence, this week they continue to drill exploratory boreholes just above the beach. In the target zone, a core sample near the cave-in pit reveals sand which could be evidence of a manifestation of a bygone tunnel, according to geologist Terry Matheson. The discovery is deemed important enough to call Marty, and when he arrives at the site he exclaims in anticipation, "It's a beautiful day on Oak Island." As Marty examines the spoils, Rick can't help but note the irony is there is no wood in the sample. Nonetheless, he adds that this may be the one thing, the clue that could solve the 200 years plus Oak Island mystery once and for all. Next, they take a sample 5 feet to the west, at a depth of 108 feet. The core sample contains some sand, but nothing that would point to anything resembling a tunnel, according to Terry, who describes the spoils as unremarkable. The team is disappointed, and they decide to ditch the current random drilling operation in favor of seismic scanning in the hopes of finding more promising targets. Later, the team from Seismic Scanning Team from Eagle, Canada, arrived to map underground anomalies in a bid to finally locate the elusive money pit. Their ambitious goal involves setting off a whopping 18,000 dynamite charges, which will create sound waves that can be measured as they travel through the earth. Based on the sound wave data, a master map of tunnels and voids as deep as 300 feet down will be created. Meanwhile, the team find time to meet with naval historian and author Chip Reed in the war room, where he sheds new light on the possible purpose of the mysterious man-made structures at Smith's Cove. He shows the team an old map of Oak Island, and on it they recognize the mysterious L-shaped structure unearthed last year. Chip believes that the structure could be evidence of a military fortification known as a water battery and be connected to what is known as the Louisbourg treasure that is associated with Nova Scotia. He tells the team that if this is the case, they may actually be looking for some kind of French treasure, based on his research. In response, Marty asks the team's historians to investigate any possible lead based on Chip's assertion. Elsewhere, members of the team head out to Lot 27, once owned by Daniel McGinnis. Evidence left behind suggests that McGinnis himself searched on the lot for treasure tunnels leading to the legendary treasure vault. 3 weeks ago, ancient rock drilling tools called swages, as much as 600 years old, were found on nearby Lot 21, also owned by McGinnis. Metal detecting expert Gary Drayton finds a promising area for Jack Begley to dig, and they find what Gary terms an iron chisel. "Look at that," he says, "definitely looks old." He surmises that the chisel could have been used for tunneling, perhaps in tandem with the swages, and estimates it could date back to the 1400s. In response, the team decide to further investigate what could be beneath Lot 21, using ground-penetrating radar. When the ground-penetrating experts arrive on site, they find an anomaly 4 feet down. Could this be a void or a tunnel? The anomaly is 4 feet wide, and Craig Tester remarks that there are a couple of known wells in the area, although he concedes that finding this anomaly is promising. Lastly, the team gather at the southern shore of the island with the goal of finding a wooden sluiceway that connects to Shaft 9, thus indicating the location of the money pit. Dan Henske, whom Rick declares is the sage, the royalty of Oak Island now, has recommended this operation based on his knowledge of the island. Marty operates the heavy equipment machine and soon finds a buried pipe. He continues to dig until the team see water pouring into the dugout earth through a hole. Examining the mud, they find wood and clay and determine that they have found the 159-year-old sluice referenced by Dan Henske. Marty yells, "Holy smokes," saying this could be one of the most important discoveries of the year. have the team finally made a major breakthrough, uncovering a searcher shaft which will lead them to a centuries-old vault? Be sure to tune in next week to find out. In the dim light of dawn, the Oak Island team gathered around the latest dig site, their faces etched with anticipation and wariness from years of relentless pursuit. For generations, the elusive money pit had defied treasure hunters, historians, and skeptics alike. But today, hope hung in the air like a heavy fog, thick with mystery. Could this be the moment? After countless excavations, tantalizing clues, and dead ends, the Lagina brothers and their crew believed they were finally on the cusp of something monumental. Rick and Marty Lagina exchanged a look, one that had passed between them many times since they first heard of Oak Island's legend. But today was different. The air was charged with something palpable, a shared conviction that they were closer than ever to unearthing the truth buried deep beneath the island's surface. Not just any truth, but the one that had evaded fortune seekers for over 2 centuries, the entrance to the money pit. Standing at the edge of the massive hole they had painstakingly dug over the last few weeks, the team was silent. The hydraulic digger groaned as it shifted soil and stone, each scoop drawing them nearer to an unknown fate. They had drilled deep into the earth, and each layer of sediment they unearthed told its own story. Ancient wood beams, fragments of tools, and strange pieces of parchment had surfaced, hints that something man-made lay far below, waiting to be discovered. But today the signals were clearer. As the crew lowered a camera down one of the newest boreholes, the screen flickered with grainy footage. At first it showed nothing but dark water and mud. Then, just as the team began to lose hope, something metallic glinted in the murky depths. Craig Tester, the team's seasoned geologist, zoomed in on the feed. His eyes widened. "That's not natural," he muttered, barely above a whisper. "Look at the structure. It's reinforced." The room erupted into a flurry of excitement. Could this be the long-sought-after vault or chamber? The tantalizing possibility sent ripples of energy through the team. The Lagina brothers stood side by side, hearts pounding. This could be it. After years of chasing dead ends, they were staring at something definitively human-made, something hidden with purpose. And not just anywhere. Deep below, in the very area where countless researchers, diggers, and even engineers had theorized the money pit lay. As the team analyzed the footage, they could make out what appeared to be a series of carefully placed beams, forming a framework around what could only be described as a tunnel entrance. It was ancient, weathered by time, but undeniably there. The atmosphere thickened as the realization set in. This could be the entrance to the money pit, the fabled location where untold riches were hidden. But it wasn't just treasure the team sought. Over the years, the mystery of Oak Island had become something far more than gold coins and pirate loot. They had uncovered fragments of European history, relics that suggested secret societies, and ties to ancient civilizations. The treasure, if it existed, was part of a much larger puzzle, a global mystery that could rewrite parts of history. Gary Drayton, the metal detection expert, couldn't help but grin. "This is the biggest hit we've ever had," he said, holding up his metal detector that had been registering strong signals near the pit. "If there's anything of value down there, we're about to find out." Marty nodded, his analytical mind already working through the logistics of the next steps. "We need to secure this tunnel and get a proper look inside," he said, his voice steady, though his eyes gleamed with excitement. "If we rush this, we could compromise the entire structure." The team gathered around to formulate a plan. They knew they couldn't afford any missteps. The island's history was rife with collapse zones, booby traps, and intricate flood tunnels designed to thwart treasure seekers. The money pit, if this truly was its entrance, was protected by layers of ingenious engineering. It wasn't just a hole filled with treasure. It was a fortress, a labyrinth of stone and water designed to keep its secrets safe. Rick Lagina, ever the optimist, placed a hand on his brother's shoulder. "We've come this far, Marty. We have to go in."